Complex systems are impossible to build. And frankly, most of the time, the way companies go about building systems is completely backwards. Usually what happens is you encounter a problem, something happens, there's a situation, something's going wrong, and the instant response is, let's go ahead and build a system to solve for that particular challenge. And that's completely backwards. You should not be thinking in that way, and I'll explain why in just a moment. But really, you kind of just start to design the system around the problem that you're having, instead of actually trying to solve the problem and design the system around the solution. And what this creates is sort of complexity in what you're trying to build, and it doesn't encourage people to use it. And this is oftentimes when you kind of see a system or a tool or a process or whatever it is, so kind of bloated and messy and difficult to use, and nobody ends up using it. And I actually came across Gaul's law. This is something that really opened my eyes to this perspective, and I want to read it to make sure I actually get it right, because there's a lot to unpack here. Now, Gaul's law states that a complex system designed from scratch never works and cannot be made to work. You have to start over, beginning with a working, simple system. And this hits so close to home for me because I can't tell you how many systems I've built where I sit down and I'm like, here's what we need. I try to gather all the requirements, all the little pieces of what we want to accomplish, every little thing that we absolutely need to do. And not even realizing it, I'm kind of already setting myself up for failure, because what I'm trying to do is build a system that is literally doing everything from day one. And when I read Gaul's law, I was like, this makes so much sense. And I've even experienced this very recently. I was building an AI assistant to kind of manage my emails. And I'm like, okay, here's what I wanted to do. Very, very practical, right? I'm going to actually walk you through my thought process on that. I literally thought to myself, I was okay, I wanted to tag my emails, archive emails I don't need, respond to emails, create a full persona for each person on how I respond to particular people, whether that's internal individuals, clients that we work with, that we build systems for, family members, whatever it is. And I wanted it to do all of these things on day one. I was like, cool, I'm gonna prep all of this. I'm gonna create this AI agent. I'm gonna launch it. And on day one, maybe it'll need some work. It'll probably need some training, but eventually I'll kind of actually get it to work. And as you probably guess, I don't use it today. What I use today, I kind of scrapped the whole thing and I went back from scratch. And all I'm doing right now is telling it to label my emails. That's it. That's all it's doing as of today. I'm going to expand on that functionality later, but I ran into the same exact problem that Gaul's law is stating. I tried to build a complex system from scratch, and that literally never works. Every single time I could remember going back to building a system, it never works when you try to build something complex from scratch. You always have to start simple. Start simple, put something simple together that actually works, and then bolt on things as you go that make it better, versus trying to build something on day one that's going to be perfect. I want to also kind of state that there's a bit of a perspective shift for me, and it's that a system does not solve the problem. It helps people solve the problem consistently. And the way I like to frame this is, let's say you're trying to be healthier. You could build some systems around being healthier. You can set your alarm in the morning to go to the gym. You can meal prep over the weekend, create a system for yourself, to eat food, the correct food at the right times. But it doesn't matter how much of that prep you do. It doesn't matter how much you set your alarm. If you set your alarm and you wake up and you don't go to the gym, it doesn't matter that that system existed. If you meal prep and you never eat that food, it doesn't matter that that system existed to meal prep. The solution is never the system. The system never solves the actual problem. It just helps us to be consistent in solving the problem. And that's the kind of major perspective shift I've had when looking at this through Gaul's law. And there's a few things to unpack here. And the first thing is that you want to solve the problem yourself first, and you want to do manually and simply. For example, back to my AI agent, right? Instead of trying to get it to do 100 things at once, my solution was, okay, how do I manage my emails right now? How do I label them? How do I archive them? How do I respond to them? Very practically, kind of write down how I go through that methodology. I like to use Loom for a lot of this, so I'll actually record my screen, walk through it, and then grab the transcript, the visuals, and feed it to AI to kind of help me build those systems. But very practically, right, being able to build those systems. But basically what I'm trying to do is do the thing manually. How would I do this manually in the simplest possible way that I can? When I have that, I could then turn it into a real system that's actually gonna work. Not one that's theoretical, that is, I want it to do X, Y, Z, and I want it to do all of these things in order, and I want it to nail it every single time, because that's never gonna happen. But can I do something manually? Can I do something simply, and then hand that off into a system that we can make consistent for people to solve those problems? That's kind of one of the biggest things that I've started doing. And the next thing is to make sure that we're creating a system that encourages solving problems faster. You don't want to create systems that are going to make people slower. You don't want to create systems that are going to slow people down. You want to make sure that they're intuitive and people are encouraged to actually use them. And a lot of times this, we get this backwards because so many times when I work with clients, you jump into their space, you jump into how they created their systems, their Jira, their Asanas, their whatever you want to call it, their workflows. And they've just packed them so tight and they're so complicated, they're so messy, they're so bureaucratized. And what happens is those systems aren't encouraged to be used. And that's literally completely backwards. If systems are to encourage us to stay consistent at something or to do something consistently, we're literally creating them completely backwards. And this is what I see so often, and what I have to even actively train myself out of. How do we make something so simple, so intuitive, so easy, so encouraging to use? That's kind of the core principle here. And every single time I see people creating systems, it's how much can I pack in here? How complicated can I make this? How many steps can this solve? And that actively doesn't encourage people to use that system. And that's just completely backwards and literally why systems never get used. It's why complicated systems especially never get used. But in general, if you create a system that does anything, it just gets so unusable. It's not encouraging to use that your team never ends up using it. And I'm sure you're all familiar with this, but if you set up like a new tool, a new process, a new workflow, a new way of work, and then, you're excited about it, you use it for a day or two, and then day 3, 4, 5, week 2, month 2, month 3, you kind of forget about it, right? I'm sure that's happened to a lot of you, and that's super common. And the reason that happens is because people weren't encouraged to use the system. It wasn't set up in a way that encouraged people to use them. And that's what we absolutely have to be doing. And basically, if you don't encourage people to use a system, you actually end up with two problems. The one that you were originally trying to solve, and now you have another problem, which is to try and implement, maintain, and actually get the system working. And you're stuck with this new problem alongside the old one. And you just end up with more work than you started with. Now, there's 3 questions I actually ask myself every time I build a new system. And this is kind of what I teach my clients as well. So every time we build a new system, a new process, we work with a new client to implement something new, these are the 3 things that we always ask when implementing new systems. Number 1 is, do we even need this? Because the default reflex, as I mentioned, is just to build a system to solve a problem. But do you actually need it? Ask yourself, what problem are you solving? And how is this system going to make people consistent at solving this problem? Because that's all that a system is. It boils down into creating consistency for people. So that's question number 1. Question number 2 is it simple and obvious? And the example I like to bring here is a shovel. If you hand someone a shovel, you don't have to explain how to use it. You don't have to give them a tutorial. Everybody knows how to use a shovel. It's intuitive. You grab the shovel, you start digging, you're done. That's what your system should look like. It should be a shovel. You should be able to hand a system to someone and say, use this, and immediately it is super intuitive, it is super simple, and there's 0 explanation necessary on how to use that system. That's what makes it really encouraging to use, because it's not complicated to figure out. It's not complicated to understand. You just know how to use it the moment you're given that system. Question number 3 is, does it remove friction? There's 2 ways to remove friction. You could reduce time and you could reduce effort, but the best systems do both. So you could reduce time and reduce effort. Again, both of those is ideal. If you can make something faster, make it easier, that is the perfect system. That doesn't always happen, but if you can hit both of those, that's definitely more ideal. For example, if you meal prep, you're going to reduce time because you don't actually have to spend as much time cooking. If you add up all the time that you would cook throughout the week, it would be more time than to just batch it all at once. And it reduces effort because you don't have to do it a whole bunch of times over again. You just kind of do it all in one sitting and you're done. Reduces time and reduces effort, which is why that kind of a system is so effective. Same thing with everything that we do internally within our company, within our teams. Everything that we build must reduce time and reduce effort. Otherwise, that system is not only pointless, but it actively adds work to our plate. So make sure you're asking yourself those 3 questions, and really practical example on like how to actually do this. We worked with Arcadia. And Arcadia was a software development company. They had 50 software development teams. Each one of them used their own system of work. They all used Jira, but they all worked in their own ways. Every single team had their own workflow, their own way of work. Some did QA, some did UAT, some did backlog grooming, some didn't. Every single team in that company was absolutely unique. And what happened was the real challenge that kind of started all of this is that they couldn't get any real reporting out of Jira. And the problem was that everybody used their own way of work, their own status names, their own columns, their own, basically the way that they actually developed things was entirely unique to each team. So we actually jumped in and standardized every single workflow, made them simple, intuitive, removed any unnecessary systems, any unnecessary friction, and made things fast and simple and standardized. That actually allowed them to get reporting, but not only that, it encouraged them to actually use the system. made it simpler, made it easier to enter in tasks, to move tasks through the workflow, and actually keep things up to date and tracked. Because the worst thing is you might build like a perfect system, the best possible thing that gives you the best possible reporting and context, but if it never gets used, it was all completely pointless. So make sure that you're actually building a system that is encouraging people to use it. That is one of the most important things when actually building a system. So that's exactly what we did for Arcadia. And if you're struggling to build your own systems, you're trying to put together systems in your company, your team, you don't know where to start, or you feel like you've done this 100 times, but nobody's actually using what you're building, I'd love to chat. Hit the first link in the description below. That'll book a time with me personally, and we'll chat through exactly what you're kind of struggling with your systems, what you're looking to build, and how our team and myself could potentially help build those systems alongside you.